Alright, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be making a video showing off something pretty cool that I purchased. I've had this for about 6 months, although some issues came up with it. It actually ended up dying on me when I brought it to Long Island Retro. So, had one of the guys there named George, shout out to him, take it home with him, work on it, everything like that, and he just sent it back to me. So, once again, shout out to him. If you want to see the video of him repairing this, I will put a little link up here. I'll also post it in the description. He makes some really awesome videos just kind of repairing, diagnosing, modding all of these rare old consoles, and, they're pretty neat. So, thanks to him, I actually have a working unit again because it was pretty depressing having this thing just completely die on me. Basically, 3 weeks after buying it. But anyway, this right here is called the Sharp Famicom Titler. This is a variation of the Famicom, or as we know it, the NES, that was released in Japan only. And it's kind of a combination between a Famicom and a Titler, as you can tell from the name. A Titler is a type of device that was pretty popular in Japan. It was basically just used as a very, very basic type of video editing device. It let you put things like captions, clip art, filters, I believe. Just different kind of cool effects up onto any sort of video that could then be recorded to a VCR. So in this video, I'm just kind of going to go through, show you guys some of the things that make this a cooler version of the Famicom that's actually superior in some ways than the original, as well as some of the cool, unique titler features that this has. So anyway, just to kind of get this started, the right side is basically, for the most part, your normal Famicom side. So you have a little eject button, which is something that the Japanese units had, but the North American NES didn't. It's just like a little button that comes up when there's a cartridge in there. You can press it and it'll eject the cart out. You have your power and reset buttons. You have this little switch here which lets you switch it between the titler mode and the Famicom mode. You have your cartridge slot up at the top, and then you have this little touchpad here, which is actually for the titler function. This is actually where you'd write down all of your characters that would then come up on the screen. Over on this side, you have 5 different presets, and then you have a bunch of different buttons here which kind of control the software. So I know some of these, like this goes back to menu. Some of these up here change like the font color and size and everything, and then the different types of text that can be input. So, over on the front here, you have a Famicom expansion port. This is used for extra controllers. There's some little accessories like the 3D glasses and things like that. Those will all connect to that port there. Over on the left side, we have a volume dial. We have a couple potentiometers here, which I don't know off the top of my head what they do. And same thing for the switch. I don't know what it does. Then on the back, I have it hooked up here to a lot of different things, and I'll show you guys why after. But you have your power connection. You have RF, which connects to like a RF modulator. You have video input and output, as well as S-video. So that's kind of the thing that makes this better than your normal NES or Famicom, is that this actually supports something other than RF and composite. So in Japan, the US, Europe, basically everywhere that the original NES or Famicom was released, the best video quality you can get out of it natively was composite, which, as most of you guys know, if you've played any older consoles, composite really isn't the cleanest picture. It usually looks pretty fuzzy, pixels aren't very sharp. It's just kind of rough around the edges. Some games actually do take advantage of that, and they look pretty nice because of the kind of blurriness. It blends some of the pixels together. Although some games, it definitely leaves a lot to be desired. With this, like I said, it has S-video, which is actually probably the biggest step up you can make in terms of video quality. Obviously, RGB component, things like that, they're going to be better. However, S-video is probably about 80% of the picture quality you could get out of RGB. So it is really nice looking, way better than basically any other stock Nintendo hardware. The only other system that would actually beat this in picture quality would be one of the arcade systems, because those actually use RGB directly. However, those have kind of a weird color palette, so everything looks a little bit yellow. This looks just like the original consoles, but it has that cleaner image quality, which is really nice. Got Super Mario Bros. 1 that we're going to just drop in here. Make sure that is on the Famicom mode. Drop the cartridge in. You see that little eject button pops up, and then when you want to finish, just pop that right out. So, take my controller. Both of them are hardwired in, just like with a normal Famicom. So you have your Player 1 controller, Player 2 controller, which has the microphone, volume dial, and no start and select button. So, let's press start. I got my capture card hooked right up, and I should be recording on that as long as nothing messes up, so you guys will see. That is a dirty cartridge. Hold on. So, here we are in Mario Bros. 1. As you can see, this is probably the best Mario Bros. 1 has ever looked on original hardware. If you play it on an NES, which I'll throw some footage up now if I have some, it's definitely pretty rough. Now, this isn't going to be the sharpest thing ever. Obviously, it's going to look better if you play it in an emulator. But compared to composite video on any of the other systems, you just really can't beat this. But, like I said, this isn't just a normal Famicom. This actually has some extra features. So I'm going to pause it right here on 1-2 because this has a pretty large black background. Because of that, I can actually take advantage of one of the features of this device. So, I notice this little switch down here on the bottom. That actually lets you overlay the titler's graphics onto another system. Usually you would connect this up to a camcorder of some sort, play your video through this, and then record it onto a VCR after, so you're able to get all the captions and everything. But because it's just a composite input, you can pretty much put whatever you want on the screen. Because of that, off screen over here, I actually have a PS1 hooked up. It does kind of mess up a little bit while it's grabbing that signal, but as you can see here, we have a PlayStation in the background of 1-2, which is just super bizarre looking because there's no video editing happening here. This is straight direct recording from the console. So it's very cool. So I got Castlevania Symphony of the Night right here. As you can see, I can just go into the game, start playing it. I don't have a memory card in, so I'm just going to start up a blank save. But yeah, you can put anything here. And like I said, you could use this for some really cool effects. You can get really creative with it, which was kind of the intent of it back in the day. Nowadays, open up DaVinci Resolve, Sony Vegas, whatever. This is easy. You just chroma key out black. It's a very simple effect to do now. However, back in the day, you couldn't just open up a video editing program on a computer. So this stuff was actually pretty neat to be able to do in your home. So, obviously, most people aren't going to overlay gameplay over their family videos and things like that. So let's go over to the actual titler function to see all of the things that can do. I'll just turn the system off, pop the cartridge out, and flip that little switch up to the top. So now when I plug this in, we'll see the Castlevania in the background, but then we have the actual menu for the Sharp titler software. So this works basically as if there was a cartridge plugged into here, but like all built right in. So you got a bunch of different options right here. I actually have a translation up so I can kind of see what everything does because I can't speak Japanese. So menu options are title call, create title, call settings, title registration, and then this goes to menu 2. Menu 2 right here, it says canvas caption, temporary execution, elimination method, and start editing. Like I said, I don't really know what all of these things do. However, I'll kind of go through them, test them out a little bit, and see. This first one, I know for sure what that does. This lets you basically just go through some different clip art and things. So the first 4 options here are going to be for all 4 seasons. You have your spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So let's just go to winter. You can see there's a bunch of Christmas-themed overlays, which you can just put onto whatever video. And obviously, yes, these are kind of corny, but at the time, this is pretty cool. That option down at the bottom, it translates to excursion. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I guess travel. I guess that makes sense, yeah. So, I guess you could use this to kind of overlay. If you've got family videos of a trip or something like that, you can show, yeah, got on a train and then flew on a plane and things like that. And you can kind of overlay them, which is kind of neat. Got a lot of these have a lot of character, which I like. Like, this is very goofy looking, and it's just really neat. Then down here, this takes you to the next page. Got celebration, speech bubble, baby, etc., memory, and then this goes back to the first menu. So let's see what's in etc., because I'm just curious. Not sure what that translates to. The end. That's probably what that means in Japanese. That's pretty much all that menu was. It's just the little overlays you can do. The second option here, that's to create a title. So, let's see. Like I said, I don't really know how this works. See if I can figure it out. Like I said, these buttons do different things. So if I press this top one, it changes the font and the color. You can kind of see that down there. This inverts it. That changes the color of all of it. So there's some kind of different things you can do here. You can add shapes in. So if I want to add in some stars or a star, I can do that. There is a way to be able to write on this little touchpad down here. Although there's supposed to be a stylus with it, which I do not have. So I don't think I'm able to do that. So I've tried writing with my finger and nothing comes up at all. So I assume there's some special type of pen that was supposed to come with this. And unfortunately, I don't have that. This next option here, this kind of changes the animations that'll play. So when you pop something up on screen, you can have it kind of slide in from the top and bottom. You can change the speed of that. You can also change the background. So you want transparent if you have something in the background. If you just want to show it as like a little title card between different videos, you can do this. Down here, title registration. This screen translates to register the title memory number you want to register. Okay, so I press 1. Just say register in memory 1. We'll click yes. I'm assuming if I go down to the start editing button. So now if I press 1, yep, that'll come right up. So there's a little thing that says ski trip. I actually translated that. Number 2, doesn't look like there's anything else on here, just 1. Yep, so that's the only one that's registered, but you got the little animation there for the ski trip with my little star that I added in. I can just press this button to go back to the menu. I can erase, which I definitely don't want to do. I'm assuming that would just erase the preset that I made, so I'm not going to do that. And yeah, just looking through here, most of these other features kind of just do the same type of thing. This is that canvas caption option, which I'm not sure exactly what that means. Oh, this lets you draw. That's cool. So, I don't know if I can do anything with that touchpad. Doesn't look like it. However, I can go in here and I can just draw whatever. So I can draw a little smiley face. There. So you can kind of just overlay whatever you want. And I assume if I do that, and then I go to the title registration, which I believe was this one down here. I can just press 1. Now if I go down to start editing, if I press 1, in theory that should come up. Yep, there it is, and it slides right in. So you can do some cool things with it. It's obviously nothing groundbreaking. However, I would love to grab some old camcorder or something and record some sort of video and use this to kind of edit it. I think that would be a really cool project to do, and maybe I'll do that at some point. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not really a whole lot more to go through with this. So you can kind of just throw whatever little overlays and things you want onto video. You can put games through the background and play, Sega Genesis games on your Famicom or something like that. One other thing that I found out you can do, which is actually pretty interesting, if I turn this off real quick, right here we've got the titler, which I'm going to move over to the side, and actually it lets you connect up a Famicom disk system. So in theory, this is kind of the best way to enjoy Famicom disk system games, without a modified console, of course. So right here we've got Castlevania. Hopefully my disk system feels like working today, because sometimes it does not. Let's turn the system on. It'll show up on the screen right over there. Battery error. Okay, well, that one's actually kind of a weird one. I don't know if I've seen that. There it goes. I don't know what that was all about, but seems to be working now. Yep, and it just works. Okay, cool. I didn't have to fight with it this time. Yeah, here we have Castlevania. So, press start. Looks like there's actually some saves on here already. Because it's a Famicom disk system game, it's going to make me flip the disc over in a second. I actually really do love the disk system. I think it's so cool. I wish we got it over here. Being able to save in Metroid is like... What? Bro. Alright. But yeah, being able to save in Metroid is like a complete game changer. That game is horrible without the disk system. Yeah, here we go. So, I suck. Now, what's really funny is this is kind of the same scene that was in... this is kind of the same area that was in Symphony of the Night. Unfortunately, I had the console disconnected, so I can't pull that up. But this is kind of where I just was, which is pretty interesting. But, yeah. So this is kind of the best quality you can get out of a disk system game without modifying any sort of consoles, which is pretty cool. And although it does look pretty ridiculous, it works. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video at all, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I know it was probably a little all over the place, but this is just a really cool console that I've been wanting to show off for a long time. It's one of those things that you really don't see every day. It isn't as crazy out there as some of the other stuff that I've shown off, but it's just a really cool piece of my collection. It is kind of the go-to way to play NES games now. I do really want to get an adapter to actually play NES carts on this, because I know you can get those, so I'm on the lookout for one. If anyone knows of any, let me know. If you guys want to see the video where I unboxed this console, because like I said, it was about 6 months ago, I'll put that right up here in the corner for you guys to check out. Like I said, check out George's video on repairing this thing, because he goes way more in depth on the actual insides of this and how it works. I don't really want to take a chance of opening this thing up, especially if he's already done that. So, if you want to see what's inside of here, what it looks like, check out his video. Once again, shout out to him for helping me with this. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.